Good morning, Pisces. If your birthday is from February 20th to March 20th, then you are in the right place for the Western astrological reading. This reading will be for the rest of September 2021. As usual, I'm going to start with a prayer. If this prayer does not resonate with you, if it's not your thing, go ahead and feel free to skip ahead. This prayer is mostly for your benefit, as I've already said multiple prayers today for multiple readings. With that, I will begin. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power, and the kingdom, and the glory, forever and ever. Heavenly Father, please clear my space of all energy previously. Please send your heavenly angels to surround and protect me and keep me safe from harm. Please send your heavenly angels to protect those who are watching this reading, that they might be safe and that they might get their messages clearly. Please allow me to be an empty vessel so that I might bring forth your light and love and give your messages to the best of my ability with the highest truth. And I ask this, Lord, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. We're going to start with an energy oracle card. This is going to be your energy for the last half of September. Of course, if this reading does not resonate with you, feel free to click off and watch something else. If this does resonate with you, feel free to watch, and hopefully we will gain insights together. There's something going on with Pisces. We're going to do 2 oracles for you, Pisces. These are my spirit animal medicine cards. These are, I'd say it's the last one. I will eventually remove that sticker, but thank you, Goodwill, for having these available. Jamie Sands and David Carlson. If I can find the cards that I'm using, I will put a link below. I don't imagine, unfortunately, that I will be able to do that with a lot of these. I know some of the cards that I use are no longer in print. Some of these were rather hard for me to find myself when I had to replace my decks. So just know that if there's something you really, really like, if you set forth in the universe to receive it, and it is meant for you, it will come. I'm not sure exactly why that pertains to this reading, but let's start with the medicine cards. And from a shamanistic standpoint, the medicine card is when you have your spirit animal pop up, it is, in most cases, it is going to give you insights as to the animal that you either are tapping into or can tap into. And by that I mean it looks at what the strengths of those animals are, what their weaknesses are, and gives us a living, natural example of those strengths and those weaknesses that we can use to make our lives a little easier, a little better. I know I was not supposed to get that many cards. Just this one. Okay, and I will do this one at the same time here. The oracle cards kind of work in the same ways. They will sometimes have specific messages. I think these are absolutely beautiful cards. These are the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. I don't know if you can see the book, but they're, well, let's just put it this way. They're one of my favorite decks, to the extent that long before I knew these decks would go out of print, I had once given somebody one of my cards, not from this deck, but one of my cards, because I felt they truly needed that energy and to carry it around with them. And this was a long time ago. I still know the person, but I felt it was very important that I did so. But then, of course, you have to retire the deck, and I felt drawn to get it again, despite the fact that it was out of print, despite the fact that it was very hard to find and harder to get. I was able to get it. It just took years to actually be in a space and time where it came to me again. So I'm very grateful to have them back, and apparently we're getting 2 on these. So I stand corrected. Give me just a second, Pisces. I'm having trouble getting these off the floor. All right, so Pisces. Okay, so for the first card, we have anxiety in the reverse, which is good. It's a good card for the last half of September. Releasing anxiety is always a wonderful thing. That is number 18. In the next pile, these 2 came out on top of each other just like this. We have the door to romance and healing a broken heart. So you've been going through some healing processes this month, but it's leading to that door, that beautiful open door. And I'm going to go ahead and read these first. So number 18, worry or distress. And I'm going to go ahead and skip and just read it in its reverse. Reversed, finally relief. This nightmare of a card reversed could mean that one of 2 things. Either a recent problem is on its way out, causing you to feel more relaxed, or you have mastered the old habit of worry and have freed yourself from the anxiety within. Either way, anxiety reversed is a good omen of more relaxed and peaceful times to come. Maintain a trusting attitude and let the difficulties and fear thoughts fade away into the distance. There's an affirmation for this one for you. If you're still struggling with this, which I'm going to say I'm picking up an energy of this is going out. This is almost, I feel like it's almost done. But for the last little residuals, I let go of fear and worry. I assume the best and live in peace. All is well. So I'll repeat that one more time in case you want to write it down. I let go of fear and worry. I assume the best and live in peace. All is well. Number 33. And as you can see, one thing leads to another. It's not necessarily like in order of numbers, but when we release this fear and anxiety and we let the heart begin to heal, then we get 33. Now, well, let's just go ahead and do the broken heart, number 9 in reverse. I'm sure we can all guess what that is, but it has an affirmation as well, so I'll read that one too. The broken heart reversed marks a time of renewal and hope. The pain and trauma are behind you now, and you can trust that greater joy is on its way. Whatever has happened to hurt you in the past, you're now free to move on. The universe has much better things in store for you, so finish letting go of any residual grief and open your life to your new self-loving intention. Joyous connections will follow. The affirmation for this: I release the pain of the past and live with the compassion for myself. Love heals and renews me now. And just in case you want to write that down, I'll repeat it. I release the pain of the past and I live with compassion for myself. Love heals and renews me now. That leads to number 33. We all know 33 is a beautiful master number. And I will let you guys look that up on your own. It's a quick Google search. In the upright. New beginnings in love. Whether you're looking for a new relationship or just more love in the relationships you're in, this door with it, a heart opens unto new beginnings in your experience. A new love may be arriving and you are being brought together by a strong resonant connection. This may be a call from a past life, or it may be a new tenderness about to bloom into the heartfelt affections. This relationship already exists in energetic potential, so when this card appears in your spread, make sure you are projecting the kind of self-loving energy that you want to receive from others. Be aware that the universe returns your self-caring treatment to you it's ready to open that door. Are you? So self-love. Let's see what your spirit totem is. The Coyote, number 13. I have a special fondness for the coyotes. Besides the fact that they are very close cousins to the dog and the wolf, the coyote has a special place in my heart because of family connection to it. I often see coyotes often appear before me in real life, on the 3D plane, walk in front of my car, walk beside me somewhere, if there's a message for me to pay attention to the universe and that there's something I need to know. And this book talks about the coyote being a trickster. Coyote, you devil, you tricked me once more. Must I sit and ponder what you did it for? Now, normally I read this whole thing, but this one really does go into a lot about talking about it being the trickster. And I'm going to go ahead and read it, but I'd also like to, I'm going to give a few other insights. There are thousands of myths and stories about the coyote, the great trickster. Many native cultures call coyote the medicine dog. If you've pulled this card, you can be sure that some kind of medicine is on its way, and it may or may not be to your liking. Whatever the medicine is, good or bad, you can be sure it will make you laugh, maybe even be painful. You can also be sure that the coyote will teach you a lesson about yourself. The coyote has magical powers, but they do not always work in his favor. His own trickery fools him. He is the master. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to wait. The coyote, when the coyote comes out with this, what it's telling me, especially given my own personal experience, and just like dreams, your personal symbology is going to be way more important than anything that you're ever going to get out of a book. My personal symbology for the coyote is literally that there was an experience with my mother where the coyote protected my mom from a mountain lion. And that's another story for another video, but it is a true story. And for me, the coyotes also kind of hung around a house I used to live in, and I always felt they were kind of protective. And whenever the universe is trying to get me a message and I am not listening, especially a message of warning, and I'm not listening, inevitably I will, if I see a coyote, like if I see a coyote walking across the street, if I see a coyote in the field across from me, especially if it stops and stares at me for a minute before moving on, then I know that the universe is trying to get a message to me and trying to tell me something. The fact that it came out like this, and then I was also gotten to read this trickster energy, and that you got this message of being sure of what you want, setting out the self-love, giving yourself self-love. The message I'm getting right now is that it's an important time for you this last part of September to not just take care of yourself in terms of your physicality, in terms of Calgon baths if you have backaches, or taking whatever prescribed medicines that you're supposed to take on time. Why there could be these specific examples, I'm not sure, because that gets into the whole cognitive dissonance thing. But I will say God did teach me that some medicines are very, very important, and there is a benefit to Western medicine just like there is to natural medicine. So, and I use both. But so I think that's specific for somebody. The trickster energy I get is very strong for someone specific. It's about, it's like the impression I get is somebody who is telling themselves that they don't need to take XYZ medicine that a doctor gave them for their heart or for something else because they're using solely homeopathic stuff. Or that the opposite, someone who's looking at something and saying, okay, well, I dismiss anything homeopathic at all, no matter what evidence I see, because I'm only going to do this stuff that is given to me by, the XYZ doctor. It's about honoring yourself enough to not only not be tricked by yourself, but to not be fooled by other people. Honoring yourself enough to do some research on what you put into yourself. Do some research on how you're taking care of yourself. Do some experimenting with how you take care of yourself. So the last half of this month, as this door is opening and this new love or these new, as the book said, you could be in a relationship and it might be a new phase of your love. This might be a place where maybe your partner is not a Pisces, but maybe they are in an energy where they too are opening to new ideas and new belief systems. And through your self-care, through your research, through your whatever, they are learning a new way to interact with you, to be with you, that makes you feel more honored, more loved than you did before. So this is about being truly honest with yourself, doing the most for yourself that you can, and leaving, don't leave things out by the wayside because of old belief systems, but don't just bring in something new because of any belief systems. It's truly, truly knowing yourself, truly being 100% honest about what's good for you, what you want, and then honoring that and taking care of yourself. Now I'll go ahead and finish. Just for anyone that might have this trickster energy, because again, if the universe is bringing something good for you, the other potential possibility, as I said, that message was, there's going to be, and when I say this is a general reading, but you're going to get more than one person that's in that sort of energy. There's billions upon billions of people on this planet. You're not going to have one person alone who's in that energy, right? So that might resonate with more than one person, but there's also this other side of the energetic lesson in which this person may already be honoring themselves, but this is part of the same thing, but in a different way, okay? So maybe you're honoring yourself in your health in all ways, but maybe the way in which you haven't been honoring yourself is being honest, truly honest about what you need in a relationship, what you want. Maybe you're tough and strong and you're like, oh, I don't need anybody. But in reality, what you really want, what your heart's desire really is to be taken care of. That might be what's right for you. You may have to honor that, not worry about what anybody else is going to say, and manifest that into your life. So it could also be that what you want is to be very independent and strong, and you want a man who can be strong enough to walk with you through that, and you'll manifest that. Now, what I'm talking about with the coyote here in that circumstance is that if you're manifesting that, or if you're not 100% sure what you want, there might be one or two dates that aren't going to fit that bill. And that is where the coyote comes in this case. If it is not inside trickster energy towards self, then it can manifest as outside trickster energy, and you need discernment there as well. And so I will continue reading this. So the coyote has many magical powers that do not always work in his favor. His own trickery fools him. He is the master trickster who tricks himself. No one is more astonished than the coyote at the outcome of his own tricks. He falls into his own trap, and yet he somehow manages to survive. He may be banged and bruised by the experience, but he soon goes on his way to even greater error, forgetting to learn from his mistakes. He may have lost the battle, but he is never beaten. Coyote is sacred. In the folly of his acts, we see our own foolishness. As the coyote moves from one disaster to the next, he refines the art of self-sabotage to sheer perfection. No one can blindly do themselves or others in with more grace and ease than this holy trickster. Coyote takes himself so seriously at times that he cannot see the obvious for the example. The steamroller that is about to run him over. That is why, when it hits him, he still cannot believe it. Was that really a steamroller? I better go look, he says, and he runs over once more. Contained within the trickster medicine is the humor of the ages. The cosmic joke is not just on ourselves, but on everyone else. If they are following the coyote or have strong coyote medicine, someone like this may be able to convince others that a skunk smells like a rose, but the fact remains that it is still a skunk. Watch for the skunks. Snooze time is over if you've pulled the coyote medicine out card. Watch out, your glass house may crash to the ground at any moment. All of your self-mirrors may shatter, the divine trickster is dodging you, and you may trip. Coyote scratches his arm, he does a crazy dance, he catches his tail on fire playing with matches. He jumps in the fish pond to save himself and nearly drowns. Coyote seduces a concrete statue. Coyote thinks he found a bone, but it's a rattlesnake. Everyone watches the comedic scene. Again, learn from your past lessons what you manifest. Coyote is you. Me, booby traps, jet planes with toilets that don't work, blind dates, and all the humorous and whimsical things we encounter along life's way. Get ready for more of the laughs, lots more. Go immediately beneath the surface of your experiences. Ask yourself, what are you really doing and why? Is coyote your medicine? Are you playing jokes on yourself? Are you trying to fool an adversary? Is someone tricking you? Do you want to give the office geek the phone number of the beautiful new secretary? Or do you want to pull a boner on your best friend? When was the last time you did something just because it was crazy and fun? On the other hand, you may not be conscious of your own pathway of foolishness. You may cannot conjure yourself, your family, your friends, or even the public at large into believing that you know what you're really doing. But listen, Coyote, you are balled up in your own machinations. You have created a befuddled, bewildered, confounded trick. Pull up the juggler eyes from the ground and put them back in the socket. See through the genius of your active self-sabotage. Find it amusing and laugh, trickster laugh. If you can't laugh at yourself and your crazy antics, you have lost the game. Coyote always comes calling when things get too serious. The medicine is in the laughter and the joking so that new viewpoints may be assumed. If you have coyote medicine, you may use it to make stuffy old fogies lighten up, to add cheer to a party, or break a death grip conversation with ease. Look at the positive side of sabotaging nosy questions about your personal life. Have fun telling some gossiper that you have just returned from St. Tropez in your new Learjet. Okay, I don't actually advocate fibbing and telling people that sort of thing, but you get the point. Lighten up on yourself. It's a journey. Yes, the universe wants to bring you a new romance or new romantic energy, but it is a journey. There's going to be fumbles along the way. There's going to be mistakes along the way, whether it's with that one specific partner and the two of you make it together, or whether you're still on your own in the journey and you're looking to find that one. Clearly, I'm not saying that every Pisces is out there looking for love, but clearly some of you are. And for those of you that are, or that are looking to strengthen the bonds that you already have, this is really good advice, which is to make sure you know what you want, be honest with yourself, and be kind to yourself. Okay, and now we're going to get the general energy for Pisces for September. I wasn't ready for these cards yet, but I guess I am obligated to keep them now. Okay. Universal Tarot deck. So, the overall energy for September for Pisces. Knight of Swords. Oh, there's a lot of stuff about deceit. This is your overall energy. As so, the Knight of Swords in reverse is about not speaking your truth, not even to yourself, not understanding what your truth is. The cross for this, or the challenge for this, is the Seven of Swords. As above, so below, and quantum physics speaks. What you send out into the universe, that vibration that your thoughts have, is what creates what's coming in. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. Past energy. Eight of Swords. Oh, well, I didn't mean to grab two cards, but they both came out. Interesting. Okay. I'm getting a lot of channel energy from this. So, for the overall, remember this is only for September, but if there's places where you have been fibbing to yourself, where you have not been being completely honest with yourself, that is what needs to clear up right now. The message I get from this card is very interesting. Like the dragon, one of the symbols about the dragon for me is that it guards this treasure. It's very the dragon is very wise, very smart, very cunning, very selective on what humans it will speak to and who it will come to. Now we have a tent, an army behind it, and this dragon has come in and just snatched up all the swords. So whereas the Six of Swords might be the victory after the battle, it might be an Eight of Swords. You're getting the energy of being stuck, right? And this woman is cutting herself free. So it's interesting that you had the Eight of Swords in your past, right? And it came in reverse. So you were cutting yourself free. You're already well on your way to cutting yourself free from the self-imposed imprisonment. It's usually, I see it as a prison of the mind. It's things that are holding you back, that are not in the 3D reality. You could walk away from them, but it's in your mind that keeps you stuck. It's the thought that you can't, for whatever reason, for whatever XYZ reason. And in the past, you've been cutting yourself free from that. However, you still have as your challenge this. So this keeper, and I see this dragon in this reading specifically as almost like another spirit totem. It's like the internal part of you that is guarding the treasure, and it knows that there's like this army out there and there's this potential for attack, but it's got everything wrapped up. But you just have to realize that whose side is this on, right? The treasure, distinct feeling I get is the treasure behind there is yours. But this dragon is kind of guarding it. The dragon is not going to let you do the treasure until you have earned it. It's already taken up all the army behind it. It's already taken up everything else. The only other obstacle is you. And I say this because what you have been sending out into the world, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is just like any of the queens. She has the potential to be compassionate, kind, caring, and the embodiment of that feminine energy. However, in the reverse, which she was, she's also the one that is good with finances. And in the reverse, that means to me that there has been either a lack of integrity. Well, no, a lack of integrity would be Queen of Swords. It's more like a lack of integrity, but with money. A lack of integrity with finances. It's not in any way saying that, sorry about that. I'm not in any way saying that that you were in any way being dishonest or lying. I don't see any of that here. But it's more like a lack of honoring yourself. That's the words I'd rather use. A lack of honoring yourself. So integrity implies being honest with other people, upholding your word to other people. And it's not anything about that. It's more like a lack of integrity to yourself. Like if you say to yourself at the beginning of the month, I'm going to save $50 this month. No matter what happens, I'm going to put that into savings. And then little things come up, and at the end of the month comes, and you haven't put that $50 away. You haven't saved that. Or when you say to yourself, okay, I am going to work this many hours, I'm going to make this much extra money this week so that I can do X, Y, and Z. And whatever comes up, you don't do that. And that goes back to part of this self-care. What I see is this feeling of, like, you have this treasure again. You're, in some ways, you're the dragon that guards the treasure, right? That's your spirit totem. That's your internal spirit right there. And he's guarding the treasure against all of this army, but you still can't get through because you haven't done what you need to do. You need to honor yourself. Just like these self cards we're talking about, self-care, that's part of self-care, is making sure that you honor yourself in the financial arena as well. What that's bringing about, though, because you have not been able to honor yourself and you have not been taking steps to do so in that area, interestingly enough, is the Ace of Wands. Now, usually the Ace of Wands is about passionate new beginnings, passionate offers. I don't necessarily see this as, certainly I would hope that nobody sees this as a phallic type object there, because ouch. But instead it speaks to me more of other kinds of passions, like your creativity, painting, a project on crafting. Maybe you do home projects, or maybe there's home projects that you always wanted to do but you can't do, and it's interrelated. In fact, I see it very strongly interrelated. Like there are ways in which you want to express this passion, start this new beginning on this idea, this craft, this hobby, this project, whatever this is for you. But it's not coming to fruition. It's not happening because you haven't been honoring yourself. You haven't had the internal strength, discipline, internal discipline to face down. And in some ways this is other dragons too, because even though outside people might be the ones with their hands out for money, like, children do it all the time, even though there might be an outside force that is asking for the money. I'm not saying don't pay your rent. Definitely pay your rent, because if you don't, you're certainly not honoring yourself. But pay your rent, pay your bills. In doing so, in doing those things, that is honoring yourself. That is making sure that you have what you need. But when it comes to that little bit of extra, either saving it or making it so that you can do the passionate things that you've just been desiring to do, that's not coming to fruition. You're starting to cut yourself free from your self-imposed prisons. As you do, that's going to bring forth this. You have the Two of Swords, and you have the Lovers in reverse. And interestingly enough, what I'm seeing with the Lovers in reverse and the Two of Swords. Now, in this card, it's showing the man is the one in the middle here, like this. But we know that not all Pisces are men. So I'm saying this to both the male and female Pisces. But this person has two lovers. Well, that's not a healthy, great relationship if you want something that is lasting. And that's just my opinion. I know other people have had their opinion. And the only thing I'm going to say to defend my opinion is I have had experience with this whole open thing. Most painful bullshit I've ever gone through in my life. And I have studied. I've read the research and the studies, and again, I'm not trying to diss anybody, okay? I pray to God that somebody who's experimenting with this is not in my Pisces community listening to this, because you're gonna get offended and you're gonna probably get mad. And if you are, comment below. Let's have a discussion and tell me what your experience was and how well it worked for you, and how long the two of you have been together in that, and we'll go from there. But honestly, the research I've watched, I was watching an amazing documentary. It began 20 years ago, where they were following this couple, and interestingly enough, it was the man who wanted to live this lifestyle of an open relationship, and they were married, and they did the swinger lifestyle, and they would go, I think, once or twice a year to this community, and they would do it. And it followed it followed many of the couples for 20 years, and this was the couple that lasted the longest. So 20 years later, they get together with this person, and I'm watching the interview, and it was almost heartbreaking. This man was totally in love with his wife, and he really did love her, even though he was sharing, So here he is sharing, even though he's in love with her. And they're asking him what happened because his wife wasn't there, and he explains that a couple of years back, before their last interview, or before that interview, but after the last interview, they'd had a threesome. They'd had I might have to mark this one over 18, but none of these are for children anyway. But they'd had an experience with another person, and that person and her ended up falling for each other, and he lost his wife to that person. Now, I don't know if that person and her are swinging, but I know that those two certainly aren't. The couple that seemed the strongest, that were the biggest advocates of it, didn't make it. And granted, 20 years is a long time, but I mean, I would certainly like to be more like my grandparents, who lasted like 50 years, 40 or 50 years. So I'm just saying, in my experience, this is not a good energy. And how can it be? I mean, really, if you're the male with the two females, then you've got to have at least one of those females going, okay, well, clearly I'm not important enough to be the one. So they're going to have their, it's going to be easy for someone to come in and take one of them. And if you've got a woman, if this is a woman in the center, same thing. If she's got two men, clearly, why would a man stand around and go, oh, okay, well, clearly I'm not the one. So I'm just saying, I think that's all this card is talking about, okay, is that here you're going to have something coming into your life, I believe, where you may have a choice. You may very well have a choice between two. That choice is going to be up to you. You have to make that choice. Now, again, we have a reminder of the Coyote, the Trickster card. Do not fool yourself about what you really want, nor should you fool yourself about the character of these people, of whatever these choices are. Having said that, the choice is still in your hands. I would like to grab a clarifier card on that, though, and ask God, what is the potential outcome for Pisces? Because that is kind of I gave it a little harsh right there, I think. Do the blue. Well, this card could be about travel. Three of Wands. I typically see this card, though, as about her kind of looking into the distance and not really being satisfied. I don't know that I'm getting the impression that either of those cards is going to be, or either of those, the first two people coming along are going to be the right ones for the singles here. Anything else to say on the outcome for this? Oh, there's a lot to say, but I don't think I need clarifier cards for it, although I'll take that since it's slammed out. Before we read this, very quickly, because we're at 39 minutes and 11 seconds. Just like anything in life, choice is up to you, but it also starts within you. So when you start honoring yourself, then you can start honoring your passions and following your hobbies and the things that you want to do when these passions are in alignment. Then, because this is your treasure, this is the treasure that he's guarding. Whatever this is for you, whatever this passion is, whether it's art, music, writing, whatever creative endeavor this is for you, when that is the passion he is guarding, that is the treasure he is guarding. When you have this in alignment and you can start doing this, then you have the Two of Wands. Then you have another choice. But here you have a choice with power. And you will start bringing in the right one. You will start bringing in the one that is supposed to be for you. Not these playboy energies. You don't want this playboy energy or playgirl energy. You don't want somebody who's too busy checking out the person right next to you, who's holding hands with one person behind the back of the other. You want someone solid and stable, someone who can be there for you. This choice might be to be alone until you can manifest this. Until you can manifest your power with which to make a proper choice. So, just, what do you see for... I think this is going to be how September is going to be. But let's just ask, not counting for September, Heavenly Father, what does that bring once we can manifest with our power? Once the Pisces start honoring themselves in that financial area, once they start taking care of their treasure, their creative side, is there anything they can expect for the outcome then? Okay, Heavenly Father, once they fix the energy, Judgment. Okay, you have to add to that. This one's for this. So once you start honoring yourself financially, it will start bringing in your creative energy, but it is also going to, and only when this is in the past, start setting you up financially. When you get to the point where things are paid the way they're supposed to be paid, whether that is outside obligations to bills or whether that is internal obligations to yourself to honor this, then what energy comes forward? Now, I know this is a hard message, Pisces, and I'm sorry, but it looks like you've got quite a bit of work to do in this area. It's been going on a long time. What I'm getting is that until the end of the month, it's still going to be, but it's going to be in a different way. Okay, so once you start writing this, if you can get this started by the end of the month, you have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, which is going to be about, she'll be a little, it's interesting. You're bringing forth your finances so that you can do this in a fiscally responsible way, but you've got to get your bills and your other stuff in order first. I think this message is specifically for someone on a different vein than that medical one was earlier, specifically for someone. Honoring yourself financially and taking care of everything in order, the bills, and then setting aside money for yourself. You want to do this, but you've got to get your bills and your financial orders in order first. Once you do that, you're going to bring forth an energy of the Queen of Wands in reverse, which is going to be, she seems a little bit more stingy, Not necessarily financially, but in terms of her creative energy, she's a little bit more logical. She's going to be a little more in the masculine energy. Okay. And if you're a man, it just means that you're going to be, again, more in your masculine energy, being more in your logical, even though you want to do this. And that's why this is coming up in the reverse, because this is a huge desire for a lot of Pisces right now, to start taking on their crafts, to explore some of their creativity, to do things that they want to do for themselves, their heart's passions. And I know that some business things aren't necessarily going to seem creative when you talk to an artist who paints. They don't see business as creative. But if business is your passion and that is what you love, then yes, a business project is can be every bit as much creative as it is business. Left brain and right brain. But only when you get this stable can you even think of this. But right now, for the end of September, you're going to be going more into your masculine side, less into the passion, at least in outward appearance, less into the passion of it and more into the logic of it. Bringing forth, unfortunately, the Ace of Wands, which is, again, more about the logic, more about doing the right thing versus the passion. See how the wand is here, the instrument for passion is there, but he's flying, up above these mountains. Well, in the reverse, he's struggling. He still has it, but he's kind of falling with it, and he's still struggling with it, So it's about getting all of that stuff in order. This is the Eight of Wands again. So you're going to feel like you're in that stuck energy, but it's going to be a different kind of stuck. And you're going to be see how the snake is enlightened? And the snake can easily slither out of this. This is going to be a navigating your way through the small mazes kind of stuck. It's like you're stuck for an instant, and then you're unstuck, and then you're stuck for an instant, and then you're unstuck. It's gaining the enlightenment for the next steps. Gaining the enlightenment that you need for what comes in October. So you have two very distinct messages here. If what you're looking for is love, it's on its way. You've already manifested that. But be wary. There is a playboy type energy here. If what you are going for is that passion, that creativity move, then there's some work to do in September. It is. The feeling I get, though, is this is in preparation for whatever's coming in October, so I better get to those October readings quick so we can find out more. But this is only for September. This is just the energy, but this is a preparation energy. This is as I said, feeling stuck and then getting unstuck. Problem solving, using your enlightenment, getting on to the next steps. And again, for the message for September, again, I'm not saying that you have to be alone. She still has one of the wands here, right? The choice is yours. It's just to be cautious that until all of this gets set up, until you are true within yourself and where you need to be for yourself, you can't bring in the perfect partner for the perfect you until you are at the perfect you for that time. And none of us are ever going to be perfect. We're all constantly learning. We all are. But I'm just saying, the more we learn, the more we grow. And that's why they talk about soulmates. Soulmates grow together. Some for a short time, some for a very long time, because they teach each other. It may very well be, you may find a very passionate connection with one of these people and just be absolutely enthralled. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making a choice right here. And these people, one of the people that comes in, or the person that comes in for you, maybe they are a playboy, but maybe they have skills that are like mad skills that teach you how to love yourself more, how to balance yourself more, and get you onto the next level. There's nothing wrong with whichever path is going to happen for you, or however it comes. This is just information so that you know what areas energetically are in the works for Pisces, and what pitfalls to look for, and what might be coming down the future. So whichever way this goes for you, Pisces, at least it looks like it's a great thing, because it's going to be a lot of learning. And since the lessons are about honoring yourself and loving yourself, you're at least one of these sides. I think one of the only sides I've done so far that I can honestly say you get to pamper the hell out of yourself this month and not feel guilty about it. So as long as you don't overspend. But I think that's a wonderful energy and place to be in. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you found this of any value. If you have any questions about which way that energy is leaning, you can always leave a comment in the thing below. This is for Pisces only, because the reading was so complicated. And if I can assist, I will try. If I get any messages for you, I will not do it on public forum. But if God feels you need one, then it's always paid for by the universe if I offer it like that. So, not to say that 100, and let me put it this way, this offer is only good for till the end of September 2021. So, till the end of September 2021, if there's a Pisces that needs assistance figuring out which one of those energies it was, you can leave a message down below, or you can reach out to me. I don't know if I have my email up there yet. You can leave a message below, or you can reach out to me. Start with leaving a message below. If anyone leaves a message below, I will edit this video and make sure that my email is on there, and we'll go from there, and we'll just see what we can do, because I do know that was a could go either way, love or money. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.